Hi, this is Neil, and I'm partnering with the great HPC today to bring you the Surfactant Insights Podcast. Several years ago, the great Martin Harrington of IP Specialities gave a talk at one of my surfactant conferences about the journey of a drop of palm kernel oil all the way from Malaysia to its ultimate destination as part of a surfactant molecule going down the consumer's plug hole after doing its job cleaning the laundry, the dishes, or perhaps their hair. It was fascinating and educational, and if you've further interest, you may want to get in touch with Martin to see if he'll share it with you. After the presentation, it struck me just how inefficient the last few miles of the process were, as enormous quantities of water in those great big bottles of detergent or shampoo were transported from factory to warehouse to supermarket and ultimately in the trunk of your gas-guzzling SUV to your house, where all the time there was perfectly good water available on demand from your tap. Therein lies one of the attractions of dry products, and of course they've been around for a long time. Laundry powder is often the next step in developing markets as the newly middle-class consumer graduates from the use of bar soap for cleaning everything. However, particularly in the US, powders got a bad rap for often failing to dissolve properly and leaving sticky, gelatinous clumps in the washing machine and on your clothes. So, despite the success of pods, starting with Tide Pods, liquids is the largest category in US laundry detergents. In personal care, almost no one wants to take powder with them into the shower. In auto dish, the other big mass market product, solid forms are normative, that is, pods, tablets, or highly viscous pastes. For those who like to wash by hand, myself not included, liquid dish is the norm, formulated in many cases similarly to shampoos. Now, big companies and small have been active recently, that is in the past couple of years, in what I'll call a dry product revival. And I'll call out here a number of examples. This is not meant to be a comprehensive catalogue of everyone involved in the sector. However, I'll make a deal with you. If your company or initiative is not mentioned here, send me the details and I will publish them in an upcoming Surfactants blog. How does that sound? Good? Okay. So, P&G started test marketing their now iconic Tide Evo laundry sheets in 2024 in Colorado. They were finally launched nationally in just April of this year. There's a suite of patents surrounding the product. Essentially, it's detergents ingredients spun together into a tile that looks like it's made of compressed tissue paper. One of P&G's marketing claims is that it's unit dose made only of cleaning products in a simple cardboard box package. They're very cool, I must admit. The formulation is easily readable on the box, and I read the following from one of the SKUs for sale on Walmart's website today, where the ingredients are further helpfully grouped by category. Cleaning agents: sodium lauryl sulfate, sodium laureth sulfate, trisodium dicarboxymethyl alaninate, and C1016 parath. Anti-redeposition agent, sodium acrylic acid /MA copolymer. Solvent, propylene glycol. Suds reducers, phenylpropyl ethyl methacone, trimethyl siloxysilicate, and simethicone. Cleaning aid, polyethylene imine alkoxylated. Process aids, silica, PEG, sodium chloride, and cellulose gum. Water softener, sodium citrate. Whitening agent, disodium distyryl biphenyl disulfonate. Enzymes, subtilisin amylase enzyme. Buffer, sodium carbonate. Structurant, polyvinyl alcohol polymer. And, of course, fragrance. So, more or less traditional ingredients in a quite unique form. In addition to P&G, other companies are now in the laundry sheet market, although not exactly tiles. These include well-known companies like Church & Dwight and Seventh Generation, now part of Unilever, and smaller names like True Earth, Earth Breeze, Dissolve, and Clean Cult. Over in personal care, EC30 sells online small shampoo tiles in cardboard packaging that look suspiciously like personal care versions of the Tide Evo tile. In fact, EC30 is a stealth brand of P&G used for, I believe, test marketing. The shampoo and body wash are both built on surfactant systems containing SLS, SLES, and lauryl hydroxysultane. There are also on the market pod-type shampoos from Nobo, Viori, bars from Kitsch, and of course Gems, that's G-E-M-Z, the tablet product again from P&G, which seems to build on the same technology as Evo and has a similar ingredient platform to EC30. Well, there we are, a very brief survey of a very interesting trend. And as I said, if I've not mentioned your product, send me the details and I'll put them in the blog and maybe a future podcast. I hope you found this useful, and thanks again, as always, for listening.